David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, the breaking news right here. The chilling new images of the suspect in the alleged attempted assassination of the president with weapons, knives in his hotel room. The Washington Post tonight obtaining new images showing the suspect carrying a shotgun through metal detectors. And tonight, what the suspect allegedly wrote about checking into that hotel with multiple weapons on the eve of the event. Also tonight, former FBI Director James Comey surrendering to authorities, indicted now a second time. This time, Comey accused of threatening President Trump's life by posting this photo of seashells on a beach, showing the numbers 8647. What the president said today when he was asked if that image threatened his life. Tonight, the war in Iran, Secretary Pete Hegseth's combative hearing on Capitol Hill. The war now costing $25 billion and counting. Gas prices here in the U.S. hitting a new high tonight since this war began. The severe weather threat right now, another potentially dangerous night ahead after an EF3 tornado already. Winds up to 145 miles per hour. And tonight, the images, the frantic rescue of a mother stuck in raging floods. And tonight in the Northeast, New York City, Philadelphia, the system moving in. Lee Goldberg is here. Tonight, the major Supreme Court ruling limiting the landmark Voting Rights Act signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. How this move could now reshape the midterms. Tonight, the alarming images, the stabbing attack now being called an act of terror. A suspect armed with a knife, police say he targeted Jewish people. In New York City, the powerful moment. King Charles and Queen Camilla at the 9/11 memorial. The drone danger, the United Airlines flight preparing to land when pilots see a drone near the plane. Concerned there could be a collision. Look at this tonight, the major airport now using robot baggage handlers. Tonight, singer Ed Sheeran revealing his very personal health battle. Also this evening, the major chocolate recall. And America Strong tonight, the prom proposal. The whole team was supposed to help him. What happened instead? You have to see this.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the breaking news, the chilling new images tonight of the suspect that authorities say he took of himself armed inside his hotel room in Washington, D.C., with the president, the first lady, members of the cabinet, and the press corps all in that ballroom 10 floors below. Authorities say the photo shows Cole Allen moments before his alleged assassination attempt at the Washington Hilton, dressed in dark clothes, a red tie, carrying the weapons and knives on his body. And tonight, authorities revealing new details about his sprint through that security checkpoint, they say on his way to that ballroom. The Washington Post obtaining new images showing the suspect carrying a shotgun through metal detectors. And tonight, what the suspect allegedly wrote about checking into that hotel with multiple weapons on the eve of that major event. ABC's Pierre Thomas leading us off.
Tonight, these chilling images of the man the Justice Department is calling a would-be assassin. Just moments before authorities say he unleashed mayhem at the White House Correspondents Dinner. 31-year-old teacher Cole Allen in a black shirt and red tie, admiring himself in the mirror of his hotel room. Zoom in and you can see knives and weapons on his body and in his bag. A law enforcement source tells ABC News Allen checked into a room on the 10th floor of the Washington Hilton a little after 3 p.m. on Friday, the day before the attack. According to a new court filing, he took notes, writing that he, quote, walked in with multiple weapons and not a single person there at the hotel considers the possibility that I could be a threat. Sources telling us that after Allen checked in, he used his laptop to research the president's schedule and even went down to scope out the area around the ballroom. Tonight, the Washington Post obtaining these pictures. The suspect carrying a shotgun as he walked through the metal detectors. DOJ today saying law enforcement officers saw Allen fire the shotgun in the direction of the stairs leading down to the ballroom. The images published by the Post show an officer firing 4 shots at the gunman as he sprints by. A Secret Service agent was shot in the chest, his vest blocking the bullet. Tonight, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says he's still not sure who fired that bullet, the gunman or one of the officers trying to stop him.
It would not surprise me if it turns out that that our Secret Service agent was shot by the individual who's currently been charged with that crime. But I just want to get that right instead of speculate.
Allen is due back in court tomorrow morning for a detention hearing, but tonight official Washington still in a state of shock, wondering how a man who allegedly had so many weapons checked into that hotel, apparently no questions asked, with deadly intentions. David.
Pierre Thomas leading us off here again tonight. Pierre, thank you. Also developing tonight, former FBI Director James Comey surrendering to authorities, indicted now for a second time. This time, Comey accused of threatening President Trump's life by posting a photo of seashells on a beach, showing the numbers 8647. The president was asked directly today, did that image threaten his life? Here's Aaron Katursky.
With his wife and family there to support him, former FBI Director James Comey was driven into federal court in Virginia to turn himself in after the Justice Department charged him with threatening to kill President Trump by posting this photo of seashells on a beach. The indictment alleges the arrangement, 8647, is a serious expression of an intent to do harm to the president. Today, Trump was asked about that picture of shells on a beach.
Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill 'em. You know, you ever see the movies? 86 'em. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 'em. That means kill 'em.
But tonight, Republican Senator Tom Tillis says he hopes the Justice Department has more evidence than this photo.
I searched to the end of the internet last night. I can't find one example where the number 86 had anything to do with any violent threat. So hopefully there's more to it than just the picture in the sand.
Comey said he deleted the post after he saw some people interpreting it as a call to violence. And in a new video statement, he vowed to fight the charges.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent.
Tonight, Comey's attorneys say they plan to accuse the Justice Department of vindictive prosecution to punish him for criticizing the president. They raised that argument last year after Comey was indicted in a separate case that was later thrown out.
This prosecution could be a tall order, David. Comey can only be convicted if he knowingly and willfully threatened the president's life. Comey is free tonight, the judge releasing him on his own recognizance. David?
Our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, thanks. Now to the war in Iran and to the combative hearing on Capitol Hill today. Secretary Pete Hegseth fielding questions, and the Pentagon now revealing that the war has now cost the U.S. $25 billion and counting, with gas prices here in the U.S. hitting a new high tonight since this war began. Here's Martha Raddatz.
Tonight, with an eye-popping $25 billion price tag for the Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz blocked and no end in sight, Secretary Pete Hegseth not backing down on Capitol Hill, instead pointing the finger at Congress.
The biggest challenge, the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless, feckless, and defeatist words of congressional Democrats and some Republicans.
The secretary combative, defensive, and dismissive.
The president has got himself and America stuck in the quagmire of another war in the Middle East.
Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in.
Claiming a tactical victory.
It's been an astounding military success.
No, but are we winning the war?
Absolutely.
But pressed about the justification for war?
Their nuclear facilities have been obliterated. Underground, they're buried, and we're watching them 24/7.
We had to start this war, you just said, 60 days ago, because the nuclear weapon was an imminent threat. Now you're saying that it was completely obliterated?
They had not given up their nuclear ambitions.
The grilling on Capitol Hill comes tonight as gas prices hit a new high. With the Strait of Hormuz closed, drivers now paying $4.26 per gallon, up $1.32 since the war began.
Do you know how much it will cost Americans in terms of their increased cost in gas and food over the next year because of the Iran war?
I would simply ask you what the cost is of an Iranian nuclear bomb.
Overnight, President Trump posting Iran better get smart soon.
Now they have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do, just say, we give up.
But David, we are now in week 9 of this war. Gas prices are soaring. The Pentagon wants more money, and the Iranians have given no indication they are ready to give up. David?
All right, Martha Raddatz on this war in Iran again tonight. Martha, thank you. Now to the severe weather threat right now as we're on the air. This is night 7, by the way, of these severe storms. Another potentially dangerous night ahead after an EF3 tornado in Texas already. Winds up to 145 miles per hour. And tonight in the Northeast, New York City, Philadelphia, the system moving in. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast, and Alex Stone tonight from the storm zone.
Tonight, dangerous thunderstorms moving east. After a violent 24 hours that included this touchdown of an EF3 tornado in Texas. East of Little Rock in Brinkley, Arkansas, this terrifying funnel darkening the sky. The system dumping up to softball-sized hail across the storm zone, smashing the glass on dozens of cars parked at the airport in Springfield, Missouri.
These people are going to get off their flights and come home to this.
West of Fort Worth, a trail of destruction from that EF3 tornado with winds up to 145 miles per hour that tore through the city of Mineral Wells, warehouses reduced to shredded sheet metal and splintered wood. Firefighters searching the damaged neighborhoods. 5 people were hurt. Trenton Montalvo rode out the storm in his parents' bedroom closet.
It's kind of hard not to get emotional at first, but you just need to make sure that everyone that we knew was okay.
Storms have been relentless for days. New body camera video shows the frantic rescue of a mother from her car stuck in raging flood Saturday in White Settlement, Texas. Deputies using jumper cables to help secure her until more help came to get her out.
David, the homeowner here survived riding out the tornado in a small closet. The police chief here telling me it's a miracle nobody died. David.
Yeah, and they just can't get a break. Alex Stone tonight for us. Alex, thank you. Let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg because we are watching this yet again tonight, Lee.
It's been a brutal stretch, David, no question about it. Thankfully, this will be the last night of widespread severe weather. We've had tornado warnings today in Mississippi and all the way up into Pennsylvania. 7th straight night here, and severe thunderstorm watches out from Texas to Alabama. We have active severe thunderstorm warnings. Lufkin and Baton Rouge and Mobile all affected by these storms. Now, damaging winds and hail are the main threats with these storms, maybe an isolated tornado. And then the severe storms are firing up right now across central Texas into the overnight. That's where we have a level 3 out of 5 risk. They are the most severe storms. The same system bringing heavy rain and few thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. That's overnight right here in New York. Will dry out tomorrow morning. More importantly, David, no more widespread severe weather tomorrow. David?
Lee Goldberg, thanks to you again tonight. We turn now to the major Supreme Court ruling today limiting the landmark Voting Rights Act signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson back in 1965 at the height of the civil rights movement. How this decision could now reshape the midterms and the face of Congress. Here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, in a ruling that could reshape the future makeup of Congress, the Supreme Court limiting the use of race to determine how congressional districts are drawn, slicing away at the landmark Voting Rights Act, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 at the height of the civil rights movement. It came after a group of white voters in Louisiana argued one of the state's 2 majority black districts was improperly drawn, relying too heavily on race. Tonight, the court's 6 conservative justices agreed. Justice Samuel Alito writing, allowing race to play any part in government decision-making represents a departure from the constitutional rule. Republicans, including Louisiana's governor, rejoicing.
I think this whole race baiting, race issue on the redistricting has been put to bed finally once and for all.
Justice Alito writing, the only time race can be a factor is when there's evidence the state intentionally drew its districts to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race. Alito noting that social change has occurred throughout the country, and particularly in the South, which have made great strides in ending entrenched racial discrimination. But Democrats point out with this ruling, only one of Louisiana's 6 congressional districts will be majority black, even though black voters make up 1/3 of the state.
This is one huge step backwards for racial justice and for the health of our democracy.
In a scathing dissent, Justice Elena Kagan declaring, if other states follow Louisiana's lead, the minority citizens residing there will no longer have an equal opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. She warns the consequences of today's ruling are likely to be far-reaching and grave, calling it the latest chapter in the majority's now completed demolition of the Voting Rights Act. Tonight, Republicans are already calling on some states to redraw their congressional maps before November's midterm election. But primary season is already underway, so it's unclear what changes we will see. But it could be a much different story by the time 2028 rolls around. David.
All right, Rachel Scott live on the Hill tonight. Rachel, thank you. Overseas tonight, an alarming stabbing attack appearing to target Jewish people in London. It's now being called an act of terror tonight. Authorities say disturbing surveillance video shows the suspect stabbing a Jewish man. They say he later attacked a second victim. Body camera video shows police subduing the suspect with a taser. The incident, part of a growing number of anti-Semitic attacks in London and across Europe. Meantime, back here in New York City tonight, King Charles and Queen Camilla and the powerful moment at the 9/11 memorial. James Longman is there.
Tonight, the Big Apple gets its royal moment. King Charles and Queen Camilla starting the New York leg of their trip with a solemn visit to the 9/11 memorial, marking 25 years since the tragedy with this handwritten letter. We honour the memory of all those who so tragically lost their lives on the 11th of September 2001. And stand in enduring solidarity with the American people, Charles and Camilla. Former NYC mayor and chairman of the memorial, Michael Bloomberg, with them for their first visit to Ground Zero since Charles became king. Of the nearly 3,000 people killed in the attack, 67 were British, the couple later meeting victim family members and first responders. The day taking Charles to Harlem, where he visited a youth organisation.
Thank you for your speech to Congress. We needed that. We needed that.
While the Queen joined actress Sarah Jessica Parker for a literacy event at the New York Public Library. David, the stop here at Ground Zero, a reminder of how America's allies answered the call to help. Tomorrow, the royal couple go to Virginia, named for one of Charles's ancestors. David.
James Longman again tonight, thank you. When we come back, Ed Sheeran and his very personal health battle revealed tonight. Also, the passenger plane and the drone danger. The United Airlines flight preparing to land when pilots see a drone near the plane, concerned about a potential collision. Also ahead, the high-rise rescue, a dog stuck on the ledge of this residential building. The crowd watching this unfold. Look at this tonight, the major airport now using robot baggage handlers. That's a sign of the times. And America Strong, the prom proposal. The whole team was supposed to help. Here they come, running to the scene. But what happened instead in a moment? Tonight, the potential drone danger. The United Airlines flight preparing to land when pilots see a drone near the plane. Concerned that there could have been a collision. United Flight 1980 with 54 people on board was about 4,000 feet in the air. The plane landing safely in San Diego. The FAA is investigating this tonight. Well, this evening, the airport now using robots. They'll soon be joining baggage handlers at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Japan Airlines is starting a 2-year trial with the humanoid robots to see if they can help with baggage handling and cleaning the aircraft. Japan Airlines says the industry is facing challenges with an aging and shrinking workforce. We'll see how they do with lost bags. When we come back here tonight, singer Ed Sheeran revealing his very personal health battle right here, and the major chocolate recall tonight in a moment. To the index of other news tonight, a daring high-rise rescue in Sydney, Australia to save a Jack Russell Terrier, a firefighter rappelling down the side of a building to reach the 2-year-old Jack Russell. The dog escaping from his family's balcony days before. Listen to that crowd, the firefighter grabbing the pup to cheers from that crowd that had gathered below. We do have an important recall tonight. The Ghirardelli chocolate company is now recalling some of its powder beverage mixes because of possible salmonella contamination. No illnesses have been reported. We do have more on our website for you. Tonight, singer Ed Sheeran is opening up about his health battle. The 35-year-old posting an image with his shaved head right there, saying it signifies a fresh start, turning the corner. Sheeran says he's had shingles for the past month. He says he doesn't recommend it, but that he's on the mend now. He hopes to return to his tour next week. When we come back here tonight, America Strong, the prom proposal, the baseball player, the high-stakes question. The whole team was supposed to help, but what happened instead? Finally tonight here, the prom proposal. The whole team was supposed to help. It didn't go quite as planned. Tonight, prom season is here, and look at this. What was supposed to be the perfect surprise. High school senior Justin Nieves from Queens, New York, with an idea. Here was the plan. If his Monsignor McClancy Memorial High School baseball team, the Crusaders, won the game, he would then ask his friend Valeria to the prom in front of everyone, with help from his teammates. Justin wasn't sure they would win, but they did. The plan was on. That's Justin and Valeria standing on the field, his teammates running up behind them just as planned, handing Justin a sign, and so far so good. But then look.
Oh my God, look at these guys.
His teammates were supposed to spell out prom. They got things a little backwards.
It's backwards.
But here's what matters. She still said yes to cheers from the crowd. The team eventually figuring it out. Tonight, that moment going viral, now seen by millions. And this evening, Justin telling us they're ready for prom next month. And he hopes this reminds people not to take everything too seriously. Mistakes are mistakes. She knew what the word meant. After all, she said yes, and they won the game. That's right, won the game. She said yes, not bad at all. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.